there's a lot of powerful knowledge when it comes down to collaboration. And I found this article when I was thinking about my experiences in corporate America when I've had to in collaborative relationships and have conversations with people, whether it was third parties, whether it was direct hires. So I wanted to have information and knowledge along with my experience that tied into that, things that was related, that's relatable, right? Because we've all been there. We've had to give people bad news one way or the other. People have had to give us bad news. Things happen, life happens. And so therefore we have to keep going and move forward. And that was definitely the truth. Sometimes when you're ending with collaboration, you just have to truly be able to identify and move forward. When you're working in a community and you're working with people that are also members of that co working community, you definitely want to make sure that you're ending collaborations with integrity. You want to make sure that even though it didn't necessarily work out, you want to leave. It's not about, and the saying goes, and I said this in episode 5, it's not about how it's obviously it's about the work that you've done, but you also want to make sure, and it's a saying for customers, even if you couldn't do everything that you possibly could, even if there's things that you had to say no on, even if there's things that you didn't follow through on when it came to collaboration, the most important thing is, how does an individual feel after they're done and completed with you? So let's just say a not a co-working, let's say a collaboration just honestly didn't work out, and you tried every tactics, tools, and measurement to make sure that you could keep the collaboration going, keep the people involved that's there, and it just really didn't work out. And you're in a co-working community, and these are people that still work in the community, they have a membership. You want to make sure to leave it with integrity. So making sure to have that feedback, making sure to have at least that understanding that, hey, it may have not worked out, but here's what I've learned. To be able to share and connect that will at least leave people humble, but it also will leave the situation. It's how you make people feel, because you never know. Maybe right now this wasn't the right time to have that collaboration, but maybe in the future, when things are more streamlined, when lessons are learned, when things are thought about, maybe that can reunite into a better and more powerful collaboration in the future. So that was a snippet from episode 5. Episode 6, we touched on the WFA, Work From Anywhere, Collaboration Trends of 2020. Definitely, there are some new tips and trends, from huddle rooms to smart rooms to even we talked about holographic collaboration. And guys, make sure you check out episode 6, because that was really an interesting topic of holographic collaboration. Definitely a trend as a community, co working community member, you should be keeping an eye out on, because again, if we see some tools, tips, and trends from that and holographic collaboration to show as successful as data continues, probably within the next 2 years, that may be an option for your actual co working space. Diving into episode number 7, we talked about some of the top collaboration tools of 2020. Episode 7, there were different tools that people use for project management. We did some research from PCMag.com of some of their top technical tools and technologies of 2020. So Asana, great for project management and workflow management. Slack, great for features and integrations. So those are just a couple to name. Zoho Projects was actually 5 stars out of 5 stars for the best project management technology tools from PC Magazine. And so having the right tools, having the right technologies for your business model, and to conduct business from a remote location is extremely crucial to the communication tactics and to the success of your business. So take some time to also take a listen to that episode. There may be some tools that you didn't or were unaware of, but there also may be tools that you haven't heard on that episode that you may look at. And you should really be continuing to assess those tools and making sure that you have the right technologies, because you can have a great idea, you can have a great business, but if your tools and your technologies for your internal customers, your subcontractors, your employees, or your external customers, which of course is your main customers and your target audience, if it's not user friendly, if it's difficult, if it makes it hard for people to do business with you in those aspects, then you're really doing a disservice and dissatisfaction to your actual business. So that was just a quick wrap up of season 2. I can't believe this is the last episode. It's so Refreshing. It's definitely refreshing, but I really just wanted to share just some of the episodes, the titles, and just some of the things that we talked about in the context that we spoke about here in season 2. I am extremely humbled, and I just want to say that right now. I'm not going to go into a long speech or anything, guys, but I am extremely humbled to be able to bring a platform that helps entrepreneurs and a platform that speaks to co working community members. Because again, without community members in co working spaces, there are no co working spaces. There are over 3 million, okay, I think it's like 3.1 million to be exact. There are over 3.1 million individuals that are currently coworkers, as we call them in the industry. There are over 3.1 million individuals that are working in co working spaces. The remote industry is going and it's impactful, and people are wanting to move and make movement to their freedom, their flexibility, and their ability to take control and charge of their careers. And one of those trends is remote working. And working in a co working space, this trend has been changing the way people have started, developed, and scaled businesses over the last 10 years, over the last decade. And it's not slowing down, it's not changing. And that actual number is scheduled and forecasted to increase. We currently have 19,000 based off of 2020 trends. 19,000. I've been saying this on different episodes. 19,000 co working spaces global wide, okay? And that trend and that number is scheduled to go from 19,000 to 26,000 by the year of 2025. Of course, it's not a significantly huge number from 19 of 100,000 because of course you're going to have spaces, they're going to be defined differently. They may be virtual spaces, not necessarily a dedicated space. Virtual spaces as well, but of course you're going to have those that are going to show up and then they may fail or they may close down based off of things that they didn't identify in the business model. But even so, even more so, the trend is still growing. There used to be a time and a point where people did not believe that the co working business model was sustainable enough to be able to hold into this type of market because it's definitely a chosen market. But what a lot of co working spaces are doing is they're taking time to actually build a community. They're not just looking at memberships, they're not just looking at sales to bring in people and just a mass of people, but they want to bring in the right people. And as community members, you guys have the advantage of doing that. You have the advantage of choosing the right co-working space for you. You have an advantage to check out the membership, the actual community management team. You have the accessibility to take a tour of co-working spaces. You have the accessibility to be able to look around and assess the people, assess the culture. And so without your input and without your membership and without your input into these spaces and without identifying that, these co-working spaces wouldn't exist. So the power that you guys have as not only as entrepreneurs and not only as people of influence in your industries, the power that you have to really change the trajectory and to influence these co-working cultures and these spaces is so huge. And that's why I'm so passionate to get in front of it. I'm so passionate to have this podcast dedicated to the 3 million co-working community members across the globe that have the opportunity to work in this new age of working. People are leaving their jobs, and even Fortune 500 companies are even seeing the benefits of utilizing co-working spaces, the benefits of having this type of remote workspace, giving people the freedom and the flexibility to still have their work life balance while still building their careers. Entrepreneurs wanting to scale their businesses while networking and having a resourceful space to help them do that. And co working has been changing that trajectory for over the last decade. And so that's why I'm so passionate about it. I'm so thrilled about it, and just coming with this content and bringing you guys this information is only going to help you guys stronger, help you better, and help you really magnify your membership. Because it's not just about a membership. It's not just about being a part of a space. It's not just finding a space so you can get work done. It's about building community. It's about sharing experiences. It's about growing ideas. It's about changing the way that we do things in our world, locally, nationally, and internationally. And so these type of spaces that are here, they're doing that along with bringing resources and tools to help you grow and scale. It's business 2020. I guess I'll say it that way. It's business 2020 compared to 50, even like 100 years ago of how business was done. Technology, tools, and how people are doing businesses has changed significantly, and people are growing, and more individuals are starting businesses rapidly by the thousands, by the millions. And just looking at these data and the statistics of people that are really looking at their passions and wanting to get the best out of their lives, they want to leave legacies, they want to leave generational wealth, they want to build something that their families, their children, and their grandchildren can be proud of and they can move forward with. And so I'm just so excited and grateful and humble to be able to have this and to complete another season of the Co-working Culture podcast. So I'm really just very humbled and grateful. And of course, it's because of you guys. It's because of your feedback. It's because of your text messages, your information on social media. It's you guys sharing the episodes, sharing the snippets, going on and subscribing on all the major platforms. It's because of you that I'm passionate about what I do. And I'm excited to get out here this summer and really just start magnifying that and speaking and engaging with different co working communities and really just showing and shining that light for those that are currently in co working and those that are also looking to utilize the co working option. So much to the point that, of course, I've been talking about it. My digital book, your co-working guide, 10 self-assessment questions to determine your readiness for a co-working home. I cannot keep in all the excitement, but I cannot also tell you guys how crucial it is to have this book if you are moving into a co working space. Understanding the right questions to ask, being able to start a longevity and positive relationship with co working spaces starts with self assessment of yourself, self assessment of your working style, self assessment of the culture that you will be joining in that particular co working community. So I can't even, like, the excitement is so there that I can't even just wait till you guys just get this information that you guys can get this digital book. If you're that individual, or even if you know someone, if you're a part of the co-working community, this is a podcast dedicated to the co-working community. If you guys are a part of that and you know someone who wants to join the co-working community but they're not sure, or they still have questions, or they want to know and understand what it really truly means to network, make sure that you guys, the release is March of 2020, so it's definitely this month. We're definitely going to be releasing this digital book on Amazon and Kindle. Make sure that you guys get your copy. We have the pre-sale that's coming up, and of course, you guys can get a copy of the book. It's only $9.99, but the information for that $9.99 value is phenomenal. This is research, this is experience, this is talking to people and having engaging conversations about people who have made decisions to join co-working, or also getting feedback of what things they would have asked themselves or what they have wanted to know before signing a membership. So I highly encourage you guys. We have more information. It's going to be on the websites. We're going to have that information. It's on websites. We have the information on social media. You guys can check it out. Coworkingculture.com, thecoworkingculture.com. Again, we're also on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram at Coworking Culture, COWORKN Culture. We're on our LinkedIn business page, The Coworking Culture. So all of the information is there. We're going to be blasting about this ebook, and I want to make sure that you guys get this ebook. If you have questions, if you know someone that wants to join co-working, if you're a co-working space owner that's listening to this podcast and you want to continue to bring people into your co-working community space, I want to work with you. I highly encourage you to get a copy of this book. I encourage you to share it with your co-working community so that way we can continue to scale and really impact and partner to show why the co-working business model is sustainable and why it's going to continue to scale in the next 5, 10, and even the next 20 years. So definitely this is not just a selling point, it's just the realization of getting in front of the remote working industry and the remote working space. So I'm definitely excited about this book. I'm so